Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tip number 9 today. Today is the 9th of June. I started out giving out these tips on the 1st of June. We thought we'll do it for 14 days, and it's 14 tips, and today is the 9th day. So just want to welcome all of you to the session today. Now, before I start off the session, I want to just clarify something. I've got a lot of people who are following the tips. Hundreds of people, which is very, very good. I'm amazed with the response. I'm amazed with the number of people who have actually texted me or commented about they are very happy with the tips and they are positive. But I noticed something. I noticed that many of them are only listening to the tips and just getting the tips, and they have not actually gone through my 2-hour session, which I did on the 28th of May last month, which is about 2 weeks ago. Because in that talk, I actually talked about how to actually use law of attraction and how to actually use Ho'oponopono. I actually explained that, and it's very important that people watch the video if possible, especially those who are following the tips only, to watch the video, because in the video I actually say that for you to have law of attraction to work for you, you need to understand, for you to achieve your goals or for you to achieve material things. I've told again and again that you need to look at manifestation by deliberate attraction, which is law of attraction, and manifestation by divine intervention, which is Ho'oponopono and a few other things there. So the tips I'm giving is a mixture of the tips based on that talk. So for those of you who have not heard the talk, watch the talk, it's in YouTube. You can go to YouTube and look for the video, or WhatsApp me 019-664-3989. 019-664-3989. WhatsApp me. I'll send you a video. It's about 90 minutes. Watch the video and understand the entire concept about Ho'oponopono and law of attraction. Because if you're just only going to do the certain things I'm going to share with you, these few things, it might not work, because I have no time to cover about affirmations, vision board, visualization, and I'm not going into Ho'oponopono in depth because I'm only speaking for 15-20 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So bear that in mind. For those who have not watched the video, go to YouTube or go to my FB channel and look for the video, or WhatsApp me and I'll send you the video. Yeah. It's a link. I'll send you the link and you can watch the entire video for 90 minutes and understand more. So these tips will become more useful. Today, tip number 9, which is on, I call it your accomplishment list, your life accomplishment list. Let me explain a little bit. Yeah. Normally, I'll ask people, I said, do you know how powerful you are? Do you know how you are born for greatness in life? Of course, many of us will look at our life and compare with other people and think that we are not doing very well, or you have got always this hierarchy about, oh, I'm not doing as well as another person. I'm not, but it all depends. Some of you might say, I'm so poor, I'm so upset. But then again, if you look at people dying of COVID, and you'll say, oh my God, thank God I don't have COVID. So there's a way to look at it. It depends what you want in life. So anyway, we are born for greatness. And now, how do I know that? How do I know that it's not about who are your parents? It's not about your upbringing and all, although it influences you. But each one of us, we have what you call a soul within us, or the power, energy within us, which can actually bring you to greatness in life. But the problem with a lot of us is we forget that as we go to school, when your teacher says you're stupid, or your teacher says you're good for nothing, or when you're growing up, your parents compare you with other brothers and sisters, or your neighbors or whatever, and then they tell you you're not so good, or your sister's better, or your brother's better. So a lot of us will become, we will actually program ourselves to fail. So when you start law of attraction, one of the biggest hurdle you will have is that you think that you're not good, and that's the biggest hurdle. So that's why we need to do tip number 9, which is an accomplishment list, which I'll come to shortly. So generally, if I ask people, so I want to give you a few examples for that. Just when I ask people, I say, okay, the Earth is round and it's already rotating all the time, and we are able to stand. Why? And people say it's law of gravity, and I say, wow, excellent. Okay, so because of law of gravity, we can all stand, right? Okay, brilliant. Okay, now let's say if somebody passes away, okay, die, yeah? And is there law of gravity? Yes. Can they stand? No. Why? If the reason why we are standing upright is because of law of gravity, then even if somebody has passed away, they will also be able to stand, isn't it? But they can't. You know why? Because the energy force has left them. The energy force can be called your soul, your spirit, your anma, your whatever you want to call it. But there's some energy that is functioning within you. That is the energy you must connect with. So when you do law of attraction, Ho'oponopono, you want to connect with this energy so that your greatness comes up, your life becomes better, you start achieving things. That's very, very important for you to understand, because every insect, every animal, every bird, every human being has got greatness. But like I said, a lot of us have put it inside us, and we think we are not doing. I mean, my parents were rubber tappers. I come from an estate, 12 brothers and sisters. I'm the ninth in the family, and went through a lot of inferiority complex when I was growing up. I used to go to school, and I want to, and I helped my mom to tap rubber and go, and people say, busola, and smelly, and I went through a lot. I really don't have time. You watch my videos, you'll know my story. But what I want to tell you is this. Now that you've looked at law of attraction, Ho'oponopono, I will tell you something. When you start this, there will be turmoils, like when you start, there'll be a lot of hurdles that'll come to you. Like you say, okay, I'm going to do affirmation like what Mr. Karthi says, or I'm going to do Ho'oponopono like what Mr. Karthi says, I'm going to follow all this, and then you'll have all kind of hurdles coming. Let me tell you a story I heard a long time ago. This is a story which I still remember, and I want to share with you. It is said that at one point in time in life, all of us will come to a point where we can achieve a lot of things. God will give you the chance to achieve. And maybe now that you're looking at Ho'oponopono, maybe it's time for you to now start shining. Okay. So the story goes like this, that whenever you have decided, okay, I'm going to succeed in my business, I'm going to succeed in my career, I'm going to succeed in my relationship, I want to succeed and all, a lot of hurdles will come. Apparently, God, I don't know if it's true, but apparently God will put all the hurdles to see how serious you are, how much you want to succeed, how badly you want to succeed, how determined you want to succeed. So apparently God will put all the hurdles here to see you are. Now, when the hurdles come in, like, you feel when you're doing Ho'oponopono, you're yawning la, when you're doing affirmation, you feel tired la, or when you're doing something, people come and disturb you la, you know what I mean? And you give up. I have very difficult la, Mr. Karthi, very difficult, and you give up. So God will say, there you go. So you don't deserve to be successful. After all, you give up so easily. One. On the other hand, if without any kind of whatever disturbance come, you just, I'm going to do it. I don't care. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the Ho'oponopono. I'm going to do the law of attraction. I'm going to do all the exercise Mr. Karthi telling me to do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And whatever hurdles God throws at you, and you still, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. God will say, hi, apparently, God will say, hi, this guy boring la. Whatever hurdle I throw, he still wants to do it, right? Okay la. You go become successful. Let me go and play with other people's life. And apparently God will move away to other people's lives so that you now can become successful, which means you need to be determined. You need to know that these hurdles are normal. You need to know that you can only get stronger and stronger and stronger if you stay focused and do your law of attraction exercises and your Ho'oponopono exercises, because both of this in combination will make you very, very successful. Okay, so that's the reason why today's topic is about accomplishment list, because a lot of us feel I'm a nobody, I'm nothing. So all of you, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Go and get a piece of paper and come. All of you, go and get 30. I'm going to do the exercise with you now. Yeah. So get a paper and a pen and come. If you don't have already, I know many of you would already have a paper and pen with you. But if you don't have a paper and pen, go and get a paper and pen with you, or paper and pencil. That's fine with me. Okay, and get it done. Okay, and what we're going to do is, I want you to start writing that. Right on top, put there my life accomplishment. Put there my life accomplishment. Okay, and then I want you to start writing down everything you've accomplished in your life. Okay, let's start up. Okay, so before you went to kindergarten when you were young, what were you good at? Maybe you're good at playing kanda kaundi. Maybe you're good at drawing. Maybe you're good at certain things that others were not good at. Maybe you're good at fixing toys. Maybe people say, oh my God, you're so good at doing jigsaw puzzles. Maybe you're good at singing. Maybe you're good at dancing. When you're 3-year-old, some children can sing and do, oh, you're so good. So I want you to start writing down, what were you good at before you went to kindergarten? Okay. Then you went to kindergarten. What were you good at? Maybe you were good in studies. Maybe you were scoring A's. Maybe you're doing, what were you good at? Maybe you're good in certain subjects. Then you went to school. What were you good at in school? Write down, what were you good at in school? Maybe you were a prefect. Maybe you were an athlete. Maybe you played games. Maybe you were good at art. Maybe you won competitions. Doesn't matter that you are not a head prefect. Doesn't matter, But what were you good at? What was it that your teacher said? Maybe you're good at debating. Maybe you're good at certain things. Some things, I don't know. You see, when I was in school, I was not the head prefect, but I was the head librarian, because I'm a library prefect. And I felt so good about it, even though I was not a head prefect, because head prefect means everybody was like, oh my God, I was just a librarian, but I was head lab. But it's something that I feel good at. When I was at secondary, I was a president of a society. Maybe you were a secretary of a society. Maybe you contributed something. What did you do during the schooling days? Huh? What did you do? Athlete, maybe you were running. Write down. As I talk, you write down. Maybe you were good in sports. What were you good at? You won 100 meters. Maybe you were run a marathon, and maybe you won winning what do you call it? Singing competitions. Maybe you won a dancing competition. Maybe you were a secretary of this particular society. Maybe you won awards. Maybe you got scholarships. What was it that you're good at? I am very, very, very sure there's certain things you did you're good at. Maybe nobody knows, but you know. Okay, and I want you to think and write down. I'm telling you to do now, but it's a homework you have to do tonight. Okay, after this session, you got to do it. Okay, you got to sit down and do it. Then after that, school, what did you do? Maybe you started working. Doesn't matter. At least you got a job. Many people didn't have a job. And when you're working, maybe people praised you. Maybe your boss said you are such a good staff. Maybe you got promoted fast. I know someone who became a clerk let me tell you about somebody I know in Bank Negara. When I joined in, he was my boss. Okay. Now, when this particular gentleman joined Bank Negara, he was joined in as an office boy. Yeah, I think was a dispatch clerk and dispatch. Joined in. But the time he retired from Bank Negara, he was the assistant governor of Bank Negara. But one thing about him I know is he's always the type of person. He was my boss, so I was very happy that I was able to work with him. But someone who is come up, because you can come up in. So write down what were you good at when you're working. Okay, for those of you who after Form 5 went to study, went to work. Yeah. For those of you after that, did you do a certificate? What certificate you did? Write down. Actually, I completed a certificate. Did you do a degree? What degree did you do? Write down. Did you do masters? Did you do a PhD? Or when you were in the university, what did you do? You did some charity work. You helped families. You gave talks. You gave scholarships. You went around to do things. What did you do? Write down. Write down everything that you've done in your life, which is an accomplishment that only you know. Maybe others know, but I want you to now write down today your accomplishment. What are the things you did? What are the things you've done in your life? Then let's say after you graduate, you went to work. Okay, what have you done? Do you know it's not easy to get a job? You got a job. Do you know it's not easy to get promoted? You got promoted. You understand or not? Well, okay, maybe you didn't get promoted for 10 years, but it doesn't matter. Maybe you got married. Do you know how many people don't get married? That's an accomplishment, man, getting married. Right? Do you understand? Getting married, having children. Do you know it's an accomplishment to get a children? That's an accomplishment. I have kids. Do you know how many people don't have kids? Do you know how many people don't get married? So write down whatever you are good at. Write down anything. Maybe you've got a garden at the back. You've got flowers. You plant. You're very good. At planting flowers or planting vegetables. You're good at. Maybe I'm sure you're good at something. Could be anything. But write down everything you're good at. As you are, then as you're working now, you've got children, you've got family. What were you? Maybe you did something for your parents. Maybe you paid for them to go overseas for holiday. Maybe you bought a house. Do you know if you have bought a house, that's an accomplishment. If you bought a car, that's an accomplishment. Do you know how many people don't have a car? Do you know how many people stay in a rented house? That's an accomplishment. If you won award, or even if you've gone overseas, you've gone to Singapore, you've gone to India, that's an accomplishment. You actually, I've flown in an airplane, I've gone, that's an accomplishment. Right? Do you know how many people have never flown? Do you know how many people have never flown? So what you need to do today is basically write all these things that you feel, okay, touch your heart and sit down and write today all the things you've accomplished. Because you know why? When you do this, your soul will be so happy that finally you are recognizing it. Now, in my advanced program, I have an advanced program where people pay 1,000 ringgit. But you know what? In the advanced program, I teach you how to connect to your soul. But that's an advanced program, and that's not for everybody. But but the thing is, even when you write an accomplishment list, your soul will get connected to you. And when you write this, and you will feel suddenly that if I can achieve all this, I can achieve in something like. And you write down and put there, I've achieved all this in life. I've accomplished all this in my life. That means now my soul will work with me and do law of attraction and hope and accomplish more in life. So you can't go and write an affirmation or vision board or do hope in your heart. I'm not good la, I'm a nobody la, useless la, I was this la, I was that. Listen, you need to understand something. If you are today listening to me and watching on a laptop or a TV, you can use a computer. I have this Akka from, up north. She's 70 years old. She'll always tell me, Mr. Karthi, I'm not good in this. Mr. Karthi, but now she's in my program. She's got a Facebook already. She watches my one, and I'm so impressed. That's an accomplishment. A lot of people don't even do that. She opened a Facebook account. She started watching my program. Learning how to open a Facebook account is an accomplishment one. Having a YouTube video is an accomplishment one. Doing Face Live is an accomplishment. So there's so many things you have achieved in life. So don't look at yourself as a failure. I want you to write down all this. So what you need to do with this is you need to write all this and laminate it, and then laminate it. Okay, so write down properly, type it out if you want to, but write it down, laminate it. And what do you need? Every time you feel down, like you feel like, oh, I'm not a good, take it and read it and realize you are born for success. Because only when you are uplifted and you feel that I've done something in my life, it's meaningful, and then you do a law of attraction, Ho'oponopono, then your soul will come and connect with you and start helping you. But if you're writing an affirmation, but now deep inside, I'm not good. Like someone writes, I'm so happy and grateful that I've got 100,000. Now, listen, even if you got 1,000 in your bank, it's very good. At least you started saving. Like some of you told me 2 days ago, somebody texted me, today somebody texted me and said, I've saved 15 ringgit, Mr. Karthi, 5 ringgit, pantang 5 ringgit. I am so happy. That's an accomplishment. How many people listen to my story about pantang 5 ringgit, which I talked about 2 days ago, and until now they have not started. They have not started. They have not started. So you see, at least you have started. That's an accomplishment. So tip number 9 is today, write down all that you have accomplished in your life, from your results, from your school days, from the activities, from being artistic, from having children, having grandchildren. Yeah, some of you got grandchildren, right? Or maybe you've got children are married. All those things you've done in your life, supporting your family members, paid for them to have some things done. Write down everything that in your heart is an accomplishment. Write it down. Keep it with you. Now, because MCO, you cannot go and laminate it. After MCO, laminate it and keep it with you and always read it. Because when you read it, number 1, your soul will be so happy because you realize the greatness in you. And number 2, you'll find law of attraction and Ho'oponopono will work better because now you are now born to achieve more things in life. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow for tip number 10. Thank you very much. Be safe and take care, everybody. Bye-bye.